Hello, crypto boys and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel, Tales from the Cryptmancer, where we feature content on play and earn games on the blockchain, such as Splinterlands. And in today's video, I just wanted to walk through a little trick that you may or may not be aware of, and it is a potential way to get around force field while playing Splinterlands here. And it's an interesting item in the UI that I'm not sure everyone is aware of that exists, but I want to walk you through it, and hopefully it can help you potentially win battles here in the future in Splinterlands. And what am I talking about? Well, if you look at this screenshot here, this particular battle that I was playing earlier this evening was an up close and personal rule set at 53 mana. Now, generally speaking, you could probably expect your opponent to play Archimus the Bear in the first position with Possibilis, possibly with Mantroth or Coastal Sentry in the second position. When you play a Diamond and Champion, that's a pretty common play here. And what I wanted to draw your attention to is underneath the timer here, when you're selecting your team, there's a little known, I guess, filter here that you may not be aware of, and it is the foil filter. And why is that important? Well, because in this particular case, I figured my opponent would play Archimus the Bear with a force field in the first position, and my regular foil Coastal Sentry is at level 10, which means its attack was set at 5 attack damage. By switching to my gold foil filter, I'm then, as you can see here, able to select a lower level card. In this case, my gold foil Coastal Sentry is a level 7, and it has 4 attack. So I can choose the gold foil version and force it to choose that, which means instead of doing 1 damage to Archimus the Bear, it's actually going to do 4 damage, and it's going to do that twice because of the double strike. So I think this is a very important kind of UI trick to be aware of. Now, of course, it only applies if you have a gold foil version of a card that, for example, has 5 attack in your regular foil version, and in this particular case, a gold foil with less attack. I think it could be a common occurrence, perhaps, for those of you that play at the Diamond or Champion level, and I'll show you where that can happen. Specifically, we just talked about, you can see here, I have a Coastal Sentry at level 7 and a Coastal Sentry at level 10. Regular foil does 5 damage, gold foil does 4, but I also have that same scenario in Soulbound reward cards for the same Splinter here, with the Kulu Mastermind. You can see here I have a max level Kulu Mastermind at level 4, where it has 5 damage with Enrage. And then I have here a level 2 Kulu Mastermind, which doesn't have Enrage, and it has 4 damage. So it has, again, if it were to hit Force Field, it would do the full 4 damage. Now, this particular card, the Kulu Mastermind, you might want to consider playing this gold foil version, for example, against Earth, where you might have a Mycelic Slip Spawn with Force Field and Taunt, where an opportunity monster like the Kulu Mastermind, if you used a max level here, would only do 1 damage to that taunting force field tank. There's also other plays to look at, for example, Genoshanus, another card that could be seen in the first position with a force field that you might want to look at, toning down your Coastal Sentry if you might expect to see that card. So again, to summarize, if we look here, on the battle selection screen, be aware that you have a foil filter here. So if you have 2 copies of a card, in this particular case, we talked about Soulbound reward cards, where we might have gold foil versions with different stats versus the regular foil versions. It can be something that could be valuable for you to select in certain occasions when you feel confident that the rule sets or the scenarios or your opponent is likely to bring a force field unit that you want to make sure you do maximum damage too. So I hope this quick video here was helpful. Maybe it showed something that you were not aware of, and if you were aware of it, congratulations. You hopefully are using that to your advantage in ranked battles. And until next time, keep stacking those stats.